And welcome back, everyone. Now, as a countdown to D.C.'s latest bout of budget stupidity continues, we are just 7 days from a possible government shutdown. We go over that cliff come October 1 without a deal. And 2 weeks later, we hit the debt limit. That cliff is now 21 days away. Now, while we wait and we wonder if shutdown defaults are coming, the impact of just the lingering threats here and the giant waste of time is already being felt. And Andrew, if anybody thinks this is just political theater, with no consequences, they're not paying attention, because forget about just a waste of time. You play enough with fire here, somebody's going to get burned. Well,
and the amazing part is we're not at any of those deadlines yet, Rich, and we're already seeing the impact. We'll start with that impact. When you hear the bell ringing, think about your retirement plan. Stocks selling off and dropping this morning, and the hangover lasted all day. The crater in prices at the start of the day that you see on the left side, or saw on the left side of your screen, in part because of uncertainty about a possible government shutdown. For the day, the Dow was down 67 points, would have been up if it hadn't been for those shutdown worries, according to most experts. The market's also worried about a debt default. We got a chart of a debt spread. Higher the line, more likely the markets think the default is coming. The chart spiking yesterday, continuing to spike. So what's happening in Congress today? Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz going for the quasi-filibuster approach.
I intend to speak in support of defunding Obamacare until I am no longer able to stand.
Cruz making that statement at 2:40 this afternoon, and as of right now, he has yet to sit down. This is a live shot as he's getting a little bit of help on the Senate floor in his mini filibuster. His mission to show his support for the House bill that would fund the government, but only in a trade to defund Obamacare. As we listen in a little bit to the mini filibuster in the Senate.
To fix this legislation that's so damaging. But the Senate, the Democratic Senate, refuses to act, refuses to listen. And that's the problem I have. And one way I have to express that is support your position. So thank you very much and good luck.
Well, I thank the senator from Alabama for his question and fundamentally for his support. Your support is very meaningful. Senator Sessions is a man who is respected in this body.
Senator Jeff Sessions there helping Ted Cruz as that filibuster continues in the Senate. But key Republicans, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Texas conservative John Cornyn, saying they're not going to support Cruz's delay, so this filibuster won't amount to anything. They will vote to send the budget extension back to the House. And they have found an ally in the Senate's Majority Leader.
But we're not going to bow to Tea Party anarchists who deny the mere fact that Obamacare is the law. We will not bow to Tea Party anarchists who refuse to accept the Supreme Court ruled Obamacare to be constitutional. And we will not bow to Tea Party anarchists in the House or in the Senate who ignore the fact that President Obama was overwhelmingly reelected a few months ago.
Harry Reid pushing the Senate to a procedural vote tomorrow and a final vote this weekend, likely, on a plan that will remove the Obamacare linkage from the budget and postpone a possible government shutdown through November 15th. The House version with the Obamacare part in it would run through December 15th. Finally, we talked about the political impact of a shutdown on the president and on Republicans. Today, the impact on 2016. Presumptive Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, if she runs, talking shutdown at the Clinton Global Initiative today, saying, quote, "We've seen this movie before," and adding the shutdown, quote, "wouldn't be the worst thing for Democrats," herself included, no doubt. Rich?
All right, thank you. I'm curious, because even to the casual observer, Congressman, they know there's no there at the end of the day. It's never going to get through the Senate.
The law is passed.
Right.
It was approved by a Republican Supreme Court, the Roberts Court, as being constitutional, and it will go into effect. And a lot of people like aspects of the bill. I think it's been personalized. I think it's unfortunate that the administration has gone along with calling it Obamacare instead of the Affordable Care Act.
Oh, they've lost the brand.
And they did the same thing with Hillary in the 90s. They called it Hillary Care. They wanted to tie the act to a name that they would then drive the negatives down on, and that's what's
we almost needed it for Andrew.
Yeah.
I was almost wiped off the chair. My question is, you sit back and you say, wait a second. My fourth grader, she can do math where she can look and say, okay, I don't have enough votes here for this. And even if you knew Schoolhouse Rock, it already went through. It's a law, right?
Yeah.
And it just seems so pointless and politically a loser for them to do this. You served with these guys, some of these Tea Partiers. Is it that they're in a box, they got elected on the rhetoric, and if they back off, somebody else is gonna primary and back home? Or do they really believe in their hearts they're doing what they were elected for, even if it's throwing a match on the economy?
Some believe in their hearts that they're doing what they're elected for. Some are worried that they'll be primaried from the right in the next election if they don't vote to defund the Affordable Care Act. And others, and I would say John Boehner, Speaker Boehner is one of these, feel that the battle was already won by Democrats. The law was passed, the court found it to be constitutional, and we should move on to the other important issues affecting the country. My own West Point in-laws, who were Republicans, I think I'm the first Democrat my mother-in-law ever voted for, thanked me for the part of the law that let them keep their kids on their own family's insurance until their 26th birthday. I got a flu shot today that was zero copay. I didn't have to pay anything. And it's because the law provides preventative and diagnostic care is free for everybody who has insurance. There's no copay at all. There's so many things, pre-existing conditions. Almost everybody knows somebody who's had Lyme disease or heart disease or emphysema or asthma, some kind of respiratory problem, et cetera. All these pre-existing conditions should not be allowed again to disqualify you from having insurance. So once people start looking at the pieces again, they're going to say Republicans are trying to take away from us affordable health care,
the
which
president's
is the title.
promised a 6-month offensive starting now to try and explain this, to rally support, to get people to sign up for this and get people to opt in. We'll see if it works. But just on a basic politics, we make fun of the city council here, but I know town boards that wouldn't be so stupid. I'm sorry, there's not a more artful way to put it, for this whole dog and pony show that we know goes nowhere. And I just think this is what frustrates people about government. And this isn't Republicans or Democrats. This is just, wait a minute. You're doing something for the 43rd flipping time. Well, you know what the result's going to be before you even bother to call the vote. It's what we call the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. But yet we do it. And it's just so galling that it's such a waste of time and taxpayer money, may I add, that we keep going through this dance. I don't get it.
I'm glad you brought up that point, and I'm glad the congressman is here, because parties lose votes all the time on policy. Why do you think Republicans are so hung up on this one? I mean, I can't think of another issue that one party has gone to the same well so many times on.
Partly it's because of the Tea Party and their dogmatic pursuit of this repeal, as they would like to see it. Partly it's because of the Citizens United decision, which allows, for instance, David Koch to, I think was reported yesterday, he's going to spend $3 million of his money personally in the next 3 months doing advertisements to drive down public opinion on the Affordable Care Act, calling it Obamacare. I mean, I think that there are some deep pockets against this bill.
Definitely. But I think, Dominic, I keep saying I'm waiting for tipping points. I've talked about that, about guns. I've been wrong, okay? But just even that food stamp thing, what they don't realize is when they want to cut food stamps, 70% of the people they're cutting from are kids. And that's not what America signs up for. And it's not just all in the minority inner cities that aren't voting for Republicans also. Majority of people getting this are white. And they're in the poor areas, in the red states, in the whatever. They're doing stuff where almost 90% of the public's against them on this. They can win the Senate next year if they don't screw this thing up. But instead, they're going against their self-interest.
But Richard, they believe they can win the Senate by sticking to their, quote, principles of this comes down to a debate, a philosophical debate of they believe less government is better. And they believe that their philosophy, as opposed to the other Republican senators, is the one that can win back
Dominic,
the Senate.
didn't we hear after November that they had to widen the map? That
Right.
they couldn't just go on after the angry white guy?
That's what leadership said, not the Tea Party folks. The Tea Party folks...
But there's two agendas. The Tea Party folks figuring they yell loudest, they'll keep doing terrific in their districts. They don't have to go along to get along in D.C.
They don't.
Republicans want to win. They want to win the White House. They want to win the Senate. They want to keep the margins up in the House. There's two agendas and two different math equations. Somebody's got to give here. I'm just waiting for Boehner to say, you know what?
He's
We're not doing this. And
Richard,
if you don't like
Richard,
it, vote me out. I
Richard,
don't want to live this way
He's
anymore.
not going to do that.
I-
He's enjoying the luxuries of being speaker. He's not going to do what you want him to do. He's going to stay with the Tea Party folks. Period.
Just lie to me next time.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, we come back here. The New Jersey Senate race is getting closer than you think, and you're not going to be too crazy why when we show you. We're going to get into that and a lot of other political headlines from around our neck of the woods right after this.